Welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the Charleston AMA and broadcasting from our friends at Charleston Media Solutions Studios. From business and art to hospitality and tech, these movers and shakers choose to call the Lowcountry home. They live here, work here, and make a difference here. So what's their story? Let's find out together.
Welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the Charleston Media Solutions. Thank you to King and Columbus and the SCRA for sponsoring. We're going to be ringing your bell here shortly, too, to re-sponsor for the new year. And any other new sponsors, come aboard. My name is Mike Compton. I am the current past president of the Charleston American Marketing Association. It will be when this airs.
Oh, you're right.
And president of Roombo, rmbo.co. And I'm here with my favorite, I'm going to use that now, kind of an inside joke from the other podcast, my favorite co-host, Amanda. Say hello, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Bunting-Coman with Social ABCs and the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce, and past Marcom VP of AMA,
Yeah.
soon to be podcast director.
Oh, is that going to be your role?
Yes.
Well, you're going to be podcast director then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's great. What do I do? What's my job? Oh, I'm past president.
I just tell you what to do, I guess.
Okay,
Tell
fine.
you when to post things and when to
I love
upload
it. When to show up?
When to show up
and bring my personality?
What episodes come next.
Oh, that too.
That's important.
Yeah. Speaking of personality, we got somebody special on today, don't we, Amanda? Who is it?
One of my dear friends from many, many years ago who is a local Charlestonian, former TV news personality, has a podcast called More Like You, has her memoir, Girl in the Spotlight, and she also has a Substack called Hello Friday, and we'll hear all about it. And it's my dear friend Angie Mizell.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. It's so good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
You guys go back. How far?
Oh gosh, I couldn't.
Oh dear.
I think
I know you were pregnant with your first.
with Blake. Yeah, so at least he just turned 17.
Oh my.
And I met you when you were at the Center for Women.
Right. And I had hair since 18.
That's right. Oh, and yes, my oldest just went to college. Yes, so we kind of started our motherhood journey at the same time, but we met, in this local Charleston world, and it's so interesting, like how many connections I made all those years ago, and still connected, still leading to opportunities like this, to like be on this podcast and meet new people. It's great.
A big opportunity here, Angie. Let me tell you what.
Huge.
It is.
You're going to be huge.
And I think it was when I met you when you had started thinking about writing your memoir.
Yes, because when I left television news, I started to feel like I had a story to tell about making that transition. And initially, I was intrigued by life coaching. So I was going through this life coaching program, and I started a website. And that's how I ended up at the Center for Women, because I felt like that was where I needed to be. And I actually got an opportunity to speak at one of the Center for Women conferences. But it was through my website and having a blog. Mm-hmm. I started blogging, and I really kind of connected to sharing messages by telling stories. And so that is where I finally realized I have a book. And it took a minute, because at first I was like, do I have a self-help book? Am I telling people like how to have work-life balance? Mm-hmm. And suddenly, I spent a lot of time thinking about it, but the more I studied the different types of book, I realized I wanted to tell my story in a memoir. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It was hard, but I have no regrets.
Well, that's kind of the theme, right? Is the hard part. Is when you started this, we were talking earlier in the green room, it was almost 15, 17 years ago, because you were mentioning having your kid, right? So it was like 17 years ago when you started this journey, this path of creating a blog back in 2008, right?
Yes.
Right. But you have to create it, though, don't you? You have to create it and start it and push it out there, right?
Yes.
And that's got to be hard, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? and how there's the ebbs and flows on writing and creating. And
Yeah. So I'll take it one step back, because sometimes the timeline of it seems like I might have left TV to become a mom.
And right, where were you in TV? Here?
I was here. So I started. No, I did not start here. Where did I start? I started in Columbia.
Okay.
Then I went to Savannah.
Okay.
Then I came to Charleston, which was my dream. I was trying to get to Charleston because Charleston's my hometown.
Yes.
Worked at Live 5 News for 4 years, got promoted to morning anchor. But I also had these big Hollywood dreams, and I thought I wanted to host Entertainment Tonight and kind of keep moving up the ladder like that.
Cool.
So I had an agent and was kind of working on what could my next move be. And something in that critical time when my career is sort of taking off, I started to have, I guess now it was a quarter life crisis, but I started to really question, is that what I want to do? Do I want to leave my home, leave a community that I've built? I'm at a great station in this pursuit of something more.
Did you have a kid at that time or no?
I hadn't, nope.
Nope.
But I did have, and still do, have a husband who I met in college, and he was in television news too. And we had sort of built this dream together that we were going to move up and move on. So I started to hesitate and actually got an opportunity to go to a bigger city, and I turned it down.
Okay.
And then my husband was like, I think I'm going to apply for this job that ended up being in Portland, Oregon. So he works behind the scenes as a director. So
Cool.
yes. So it was a great opportunity, and I supported him, but that meant I had to leave Channel 5. I didn't have to, but I mean, I left Channel 5, followed him across the country, and thought, well, I'll just try to get a job here.
Yeah.
But a lot of things inside of me started to unravel, which became, that's sort of the premise of my memoir.
Girl in the Spotlight.
Girl in the Spotlight. But we stayed there for a year. We came back to Charleston, and I went to a different television station. I had changed so much in that past year that when we got back to Charleston, I just couldn't go. It wasn't a good fit anymore, being in television. So I was back in Charleston when I left television. And then I was a personal trainer at a gym. I started doing freelance marketing.
Sure. What was your husband doing at the time?
He got a job back at Channel 5.
Directing? Yeah.
Yeah, but he got to go back to our old station. There was an opportunity for me at this other station and Channel 2. And so then we were working at different stations. So I worked in Charleston as a self-employed person for a couple of years, but in that time of sort of reinventing my career, I started to realize I had a story to tell.
Oh.
Yeah. And I even had a kid. I mean, I had my first child.
See, there you go.
So I did not leave TV to start a family. That just was something that happened in my post-TV life. But it was actually in starting to raise these kids and realizing what they were teaching me started to help me tap into that personal storyteller that I am.
Yeah.
So that's where the blog started. It was originally a life coaching site. And I started blogging about my personal life.
Sure.
That's what people care about more.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you write about is what
Right.
you know, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you, I've always thought about doing the same thing from a dad's point of view. You know,
Yeah.
like starting like a video or
Yeah.
some sort of blog or something
Yeah.
like that, but I just never did.
Yes.
So that's and this was, you did this back and you said 08.
08.
That's great.
And I think I always saw it, but I wish I could have been more committed to the point of that blog. And it was always about how life was pulling me into the present moment.
Sure.
And I feel like, because we're talking about marketing and things, I look back at this path. It was such a zigzag maze of how did I even get started? And sometimes you're just so close to your own experience. It's not until you look back that you can really see what you're doing. Yeah.
Crazy, right? But you did the things, though. I mean,
did
that's
the
point.
things.
That's the point.
Can we go back to some of your early TV days from, morning news anchor from the age of 25, which is young, from a media perspective? What did that teach you early on about how to grab an audience's attention and how to keep them hooked, and how has that resonated throughout the rest of your career?
it's like the basics of storytelling that I learned early on, and it seems like times change, but how to tell a story never really changes. And so that was the first thing we had to learn, which is what is the hook of the story you're telling today, and why does it matter? So sometimes I would be live out in the field, and I would have to go live, and I would have to say, coming up next, and I would have to just in one quick sentence explain the story I was covering and why it mattered. Or I would have to cut that, we called it a tease or a cold open, and we always had to do that. Why do we care? And then the other thing is, in news, like news writing, you always start with the new thing, the lead. Why are we telling this story today? Even if it's a story we've been telling forever, you don't start with the backstory. You start with, why do we care about this today? And that is the thing that really never changes. As I'm writing my newsletter or posting on social media, there's a creative writing that I've been able to bring into it, like a style, but the element of just asking, why do people care about this, or what will bring them into the story, is something working in news definitely taught me.
And was that your major at Carolina?
Yes.
Media and communications?
Yes. And yes. And it was, I look back and I'm like, I can't believe that I just really went for it, because I was so green and I was not good. I mean, I guess I had some sort of natural speaking ability, but learning how to be on a deadline every day, because we had one semester in our senior year at USC where we put on a newscast every day, and it was rough because you have to be on a deadline every day. You had to get your story done, and you had to make it make sense, and you had to get your interviews, and then like put your makeup on and look good.
Shoot it now too. They're making everybody shoot their own videos. And
yes. But it did prepare me for that first job.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. No, that's a lot of fun. I thought about going into the news, but you have so many deadlines.
That's a lot of deadlines.
What have you seen changed or evolve in the Charleston media scene?
As much as I use social media, I just don't know how I would feel being if I was still in news, the way everything's also on social media, because people will just go for the clickbait headline on social media and not really get the deep story, the story with context actually on the news. And then all the comments and getting the feedback from the audience. At least with me, with my personal brand, I mostly have kind people engaging with my content. And if someone came out of left field and was really rude or a troll, I mean, I could block them if I wanted. I mean, I just feel like if I was getting a lot of audience feedback after a long day when I've covered a murder or something controversial, or people commenting on what I wear, that I don't know how these reporters and anchors, especially the younger ones, deal with it, except maybe they grew up in this world, but that just seems really tough.
Well, and I think too, a lot of times people just see the title and then they don't click to read the article. And so they assume by the title of the article or whatever, and then they jump into the comments and start reacting without reading the whole article.
My husband and I joke, like when we watch news, even years ago, we're kind of like the two men in the Muppet Show. We're like, well, we're complaining and we're, and I feel like looking at the news now, not the news, but what I'm seeing on social media sometimes makes me feel like a grumpy old man. But I'm always feeling like they could have done a better job. Like, this feels like a clickbait headline.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And did the article, like, if someone actually does click through, does the article itself honor the promise the headline made? Does that make sense? So that is just, I see a lot of this, but I think they're having to just put these headlines on and they're trying to get people.
They have to be first.
Yeah.
and try and be fast.
Yeah. But I feel like for the most part, everyone's still doing a great job. I feel like social media has made things just difficult to tell a good story and really help people have context for what is actually happening.
You can just stop the sentence that social media made everything difficult. Period.
Yes.
I think it's good and bad too,
Yeah.
because that's sometimes the only place that people get their news.
Yes.
So-
And it's one-sided news. But
Yes.
anyways,
We can go on a tangent.
Yes.
what I always wanted to ask this question. I think we did ask this question. I can't remember who it was. It may have been Carolyn Murray. And you brought this up when you cover the hard stories, the deaths and the murders and stuff like that. Did you ever bring that home? Like, did you have to kind of go through therapy to get through all of that? And it's okay to say therapy around here.
Oh,
it's
yes.
It's an open word.
I went to therapy after I left television for a lot of reasons that I think towards the end of my career, where I was a crime reporter.
Oh, dear. Okay.
I was working nights and there was no escaping it.
Yeah.
It really started to have an effect on me. I was so upset, like to have to go to breaking news and somebody has been murdered, and then you have to go knock on doors and find people to interview.
Right.
I think when I was younger and I anchored the morning show, I was more of a general assignment reporter. I did have to cover things like that. It was always hard, but it wasn't the only thing I was covering. So it towards the end of my career, it became almost every day. Yeah. And I get upset even now watching when something major, seems like there's always something major happening.
Something.
But the things that really get people upset and mad and countless things, it still creates a reaction in me. And especially in this day and age where as someone who's online, you're expected to be saying something when something controversial happens. And if you don't say anything, it means like you're complicit or, but I find that I get very upset and I usually just quiet down and I try to listen to what everybody's saying so I can kind of figure out what I think and feel within myself. But that's usually when I don't say a word. Yeah. Because it creates an emotional reaction is what I'm getting at. It's traumatic. I don't think it has that effect on everybody, but that's when I realized that I don't think long term being a local news person is where I want to keep going. You know, it was a lot of fun for a while, but it can weigh on you.
I believe it. I believe it. What's up, Amanda? What do you got going on over there?
Well, I want to know more about your book and marketing your book. Okay. And, you know, we talked in the green room about how you made a connection with the local library and things like that. How did it go? Well, maybe we should back up and talk about,
if you could,
writing your book,
right? Like
and the process you went through,
and
how it evolved.
That's it.
Yeah, it was interesting because I always had some sort of freelance work, doing local television commercials, doing marketing PR, some event planning, but I always felt like I had this story inside of me. And while I was writing the book, I was blogging about my everyday life. And I was telling my audience, I'm writing a book. I had no idea. If I had known it was going to take so long,
right.
I cannot believe that my audience hung with me that long. I mean, I can barely read old posts. I'm like, I'm writing a book. I went to a writer's retreat.
Well, you were, though.
Can
you hand me the book, by the way?
I really was writing a book.
We have the book, team. We have the book. It'll be available. Maybe at the end if you're good. Listen all the way through. keep talking there, Angie.
Yeah, so it's it became Girl in the Spotlight, which is sort of it is a metaphor about being in the spotlight, but also that things that happened in my childhood that began to shape my ideas of success and self-worth, and not why I ended up in television news, because I feel like I had a lot of gifts and talents and things I was interested in that led to a career in broadcasting, but the hustle and the trying so hard and being so afraid to change when I felt like I started to want something different ultimately became the premise of this story. in all those years I was blogging, I never really talked about leaving TV, and some of those turning point moments I was sharing on my blog. But I felt like there was a deeper story that needed to be told in a book. And and what I was blogging about, and I still do this, it's more about how I see life through a different lens now because of this experience of having left this career. So it was interesting. I just felt very compelled to document my everyday life in story while writing this book in the background.
Yeah.
And it took so much longer than I thought.
It's okay.
But that is, so finally, yes, in 2023, I was able to say, I'm really publishing the book, like it's coming. And people were genuinely excited, and people might have been thinking it's about time, but they were genuinely happy for me.
Our pal Sloan just wrote a book too, and he was talking about it on an episode previously. And how did the book? And he was having a book party. How did your book party go? How did your launch party go? Was it cool? Was it?
That is,
I'm bummed because I didn't go. I wanted to go.
When was it again? 2023. I'm imagining.
Yes, and it was one of those moments in time that it was how I imagined it in my head.
Oh,
it was really great. We did it at my husband's office. It's a nice big space.
I'm on your Instagram now, Angie.
Look at my Instagram.
Checking you out.
I'm a follower now.
And I I had tickets on Eventbrite. I just figured out what is the capacity for this event. I put it out on my newsletter and my social media, and we filled up the space.
Awesome.
It almost sold out, but it was such a great event because we had food and music, and I talked for a little bit, but it was mostly a celebration, and it was wonderful. I can't stress enough, like when you know how like you imagine your wedding day or anything, you have expectations around, and something always kind of goes wrong. And I remember standing on the stage and looking out at the people who came, and I'm like, I saw this moment. And it was really nice to write something so personal and see people standing there in support of that.
Well, I like your story because I think, everyone assumes you're a local TV anchor. The next thing is to go to Hollywood or be an entertainment reporter. You had those dreams, but it's okay to take a step back and say, no, this is not for me. This is not what I want to do. And I can be successful and do things in other ways. I don't have to follow this path.
Right.
I started to feel like part of the reason I wanted to maybe go into entertainment news is because I think that was a piece of my personality that wanted to come out. I just wanted to have a little more fun, be a little more creative.
Sure.
But you also am like, well, how am I actually going to get work? So you just kind of stay in a lane that
So crime. So you stuck in the lane of crime. And
how did I even? And that was like, how did I even get there?
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell a boss, thank you for hiring me. I would love for you to create a talk show and let me host it. I mean, that would have been my dream. I mean,
well, they did that though.
Low Country Live. And now they have it.
And we just talked to Emily. If you ever met Emily Zahowski?
Yes, she's wonderful.
Wonderful.
I know. And
they just added more shows for Palmetto Life. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They're going to be on weekdays and afternoons
now. Maybe there's
a
segment for Angie in there.
I know.
Somewhere.
It's like
we'll
maybe I love when Erin got on Low Country Live. And
she's the best, Erin Kendall.
I love her.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, but I feel like my timing was either off or I got off the train. I didn't see it through. Maybe if I had stayed, in television, some of that.
You would have been an auctioneer, you think?
No.
I don't think so.
No, but I do think if I ever stayed that path, and maybe it's why I host a podcast now, there's something about what we're doing right here where we're talking and learning from other people's stories in a conversational format. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Substack. What is that? I've never heard of it. How come I've never heard of it? I'm under a rock.
I'm sure you've heard of it, Mike. Come on.
Seriously? I know. I feel embarrassed now, but help me out. What
so
for the listeners?
I write a weekly letter. It's a newsletter, but it's not really a newsletter.
Okay.
Called Hello Friday.
Yes.
And I'm currently publishing that on Substack. But Hello Friday is really just that blog from the beginning times evolved into today, where somewhere along the way, I decided I'm going to give this a name and I'm going to be on a publishing schedule. I'm going to send it once a week where I'm going to tell a story. And then I also use it as a marketing email because that is the way I say anything. Like when, for example, when this podcast episode comes out, I will write a story about this experience and whatever I feel like my takeaway was.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm going to link to it.
That guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to cuss.
I'll try not to let that secret out. Come on.
But like, you have to have an app. It's an app.
Okay.
Because I'm looking, I can't get it on the desktop.
Okay. So this is my pros and cons about Substack.
Yeah.
It allows me, so originally my news, so when websites started to evolve, I took my blog and started publishing it, but still kind of on a once a week thing. I went to Flowdesk, I've been on MailChimp, like these newsletter publishing platforms. And then when Substack came out, it was a way to send a newsletter free, but it's kind of like blogging too. So it's kind of like this open web where anyone can read my publication.
Okay.
And I don't have to pay to have this newsletter. Like if I had MailChimp or Flowdesk.
Have a monthly fee or whatever.
But if I wanted to charge people to read my newsletter, which I don't ever intend to, Hello Friday is always free. If I wanted to add some other layer, I could. But people who put their Substacks behind a paywall, they get paid, but then Substack gets 10%.
Oh.
And so that is how Substack works, but it has evolved where it's also a social media platform, and now there's an app. And the fact that you went to Substack and you're like, what is this, an app? What is it? That's what I don't love about it. So my job is to not really promote Substack that much. I just have to get people to my newsletter, and then hopefully they'll sign up. But I feel like the interface is a little clunky, and people are like, wait, what is this?
Slightly.
Yeah, so...
But it's okay.
But,
I'm digging it, though.
But the great thing about it is, so if you've been a longtime email subscriber of mine and you get Hello Friday, I switched to Substack, you don't really notice because you just get the email in your inbox.
Okay.
But the interface has changed slightly for that user because if they wanted to like it, they could click a little heart. If they wanted to leave a comment, they could. So that's where the old school blogging thing is sort of brought in.
Okay, that's cool.
So again, I have mixed feelings about it, but I don't think there's anything else out there like Substack because I feel like I have a choice. I can write this weekly long form content and keep it sort of in this secret space behind a newsletter platform. Again, MailChimp and Flowdesk are the two. So the only people who get that are the people who are subscribed. But they can share it by forwarding it to a friend.
Sure.
But it makes it difficult. When I'm on Substack, people can share it on social media. I can promote it on my Instagram with a link to this week's letter. And if they read it, hopefully people will subscribe. So it's a built-in community.
Yeah.
And it's mostly a positive space. But I have mixed feelings about it. If people are writing and like, should I start a Substack? They could email me and I'll just tell them,
play around.
Yeah. It really does depend on your goals and what you want to do with it.
So what's your strategy for keeping open rates and engagement through your email newsletter? Do you have one?
I'm honestly surprised. I don't have a giant audience, but they are engaged and they read my newsletter. They open my email. So that's really, I can only say that my style of the way I write and the stories I share, the people who are in my audience and have gravitated to it, they're looking for that. It's like just a story about my life, but there's some sort of either a takeaway or a shift in perspective or just, oh, I've been there. Or maybe it's just a funny story that made them laugh. I think it's knowing that I'm a real person and they're getting a real story. And it's hard to be consistent as a content creator who is one person. But I have had people, when I take a little break, they're like, where's your newsletter?
Yeah.
And
It's wild how people notice,
consistency matters.
And there are some days, I still get nervous before I hit send just because I'm sending an email to a lot of people. And I don't know why I'm afraid, like, what's going to happen? And, like, their computer going to explode? Or, I don't know. But
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. But I'm always like, okay, here it goes. And the days that I feel like that really wasn't a good newsletter, or why did I share that? Somebody will email me, reach out. There's always at least one person who personally reaches out to tell me that it's what they needed to read.
Yeah.
So that makes it worth it.
So going to your questions there, Amanda, authenticity versus oversharing. It sounds like you're very authentic, Angie, but also kind of going down the line of oversharing. But then how does that happen? How do you?
So what I've realized too is if something makes you feel vulnerable, that's not necessarily because you overshared. It just means you shared something that feels personal and makes you feel a little vulnerable. But I have seen this trend a lot where people think authenticity means saying whatever you think, or I'm keeping it real. I don't use the internet to vent. I don't use the internet to share raw emotion. I'll give you an example. My mom died 2 years ago. And I did post on social media, on my personal page, but also on my Instagram and in my newsletter. Like, I shared with my audience that she died for a couple of reasons. One, it was a major thing in my life, and I'm always writing about my life, but she's a major character in my memoir. And that story is part of the story I'm telling online. So I did tell everyone about this. But then I took a break. I was grieving, and I spent a couple of months just living my life. But when I came back, I still write about personal experiences of being inside the grieving process. But I had to actually grieve in real life so that I could then write about my real life.
Sure.
So I tend to not write about a lot of things in real time, even if it's vulnerable. I don't know if I'm conveying this.
That makes a lot of sense.
But I'm not waiting for what is the lesson here? How can I sound wise? I usually am just waiting for something I've experienced. It's almost like something that happens in my brain that it now feels like a story that I can share. So I disagree with the idea that being authentic means being raw and venting and letting it all hang out. There's something in memoir writing that I had to learn. It's called the emotional truth. And so I think for me, it's like after I hit publish, I'm going to feel vulnerable. But do I still stand by it? Does it still feel true to me? Am I not, if I post something on social and would feel compelled to delete it the next day, that is not being authentic.
I like that. I like that idea. That's a good way of putting it. Because then I've sometimes, even just in a simple email form, if you sit on this email for a day or two, it doesn't make any sense anymore. Sometimes you have to rewrite it right before I send it. And you're like, man, I'm glad I didn't send that. You know what I mean? Like sitting on the memoirs.
There's a fine line because sometimes you can overthink it, or you could talk yourself out of posting something very powerful. But I have found that if I just write it, and if I step away from it, usually a clarifying thought will come to me that I'm like, oh, wait, I actually needed to give that a breath. So I can add this.
You said it better than I did. That's what I was
Yeah. Well, but you can tell I'm really a storyteller at heart. So I see all of life, like everything's a story to me.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
It makes marketing hard, actually. I mean, there are some elements to it, but I'm so close to my own experience that it does make it difficult sometimes to shift into like, now how do I tell people who am I, what do I do? I could do it for you and I could do it for you. To do it for myself, so hard.
Right.
I'm so close to me.
Well, that goes into marketing your book.
Yeah.
did you have any struggles with that? If you have tips for anyone who's writing a book or getting ready to publish a book?
There's a bunch of people around writing books right now in Charleston.
What advice do you have?
I feel
what
like
not to do.
Well, when it comes to just writing the marketing copy for the book, I think I just had to make myself sit down one day and write it, and then it's on the back cover. Like that is.
So you're self-published?
I am independently published. I have a publisher, so we're not traditionally published like a mainstream publisher.
Female-founded publisher dedicated to elevating the words, stories, and writing of women.
Yes, Publish Her Press, and they were wonderful partners. And their editors, we went through a developmental edit. Like I had to submit my story idea for acceptance, and so it was edited. I went through a developmental edit, a copy edit. But there were certain things I needed to share with them. So like the back cover copy, but they also made sure it had the right keywords and things like that, and all the formatting, and even like the book cover and things like that.
Is this you, speaking of book cover?
No, but I really credit my publisher for really scouring the internet for an image that matched like the essence of the little girl that was me. She said that originally some of the artwork that came back, she just wasn't happy with it. She was like, this doesn't match the vibe of the book. And so the head of the publishing company herself went and found this image. And so, yeah, it could be me.
Well, and did you purposely wear yellow because of your book?
Are you on brand right now?
Yes. I am on brand.
See,
this is my book launch dress, actually.
Oh,
very cool.
Special.
Yes,
okay.
I wear this
Very
dress
honored.
a lot, but I feel like I wear it when I do book stuff.
Sure.
Not all the time, but
it's branding.
It's time for the yellow. Yes,
Yep.
yes, it does match. So,
So you got to look on YouTube,
yes.
listeners. If you're on Spotify or iTunes, we got to go to YouTube and check out the book cover as well.
Back to your question, because you were asking about marketing the book. I think I just had to commit to the copy. Like this is how we're promoting it on Amazon and all of that. But I still go into that story and I'm like, there's so many different angles and lessons and takeaways. So I think in terms of marketing the book, maybe it's a lot like anything. It's almost like, who's my audience today? What aspect of the story might be more relevant to this group of people? Because there is things about childhood loss and breaking family cycles, but there's a lot of things. It's a love story. It's a mother-daughter story. But ultimately, it is about my career and what compelled me to walk away from a dream. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot. You can tell that this is not marketing my own book. I'm like, where's my copy editor? Where's my marketing manager?
That was my
yeah, you
my
did
question
it all by
was,
yourself.
you're doing this all by yourself. I would have, had somebody else just take care of this for me.
Yeah.
But you're just bootstrapping it.
Yes.
On the literal form.
I liked collaborating with the publisher, and I liked also the control that it gave me too, that I didn't have to give everything away to the publisher.
Sure.
This is still my book. I have the rights to the book. So
Well, that's cool that the publisher was cool like that, though, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't find most publishing companies that would give you so much space. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's what I like about this style of publishing, because publishing has come a long way. That I used to think that I needed a traditional publishing deal, but honestly, big publishers expect you to have a giant platform, and I don't. I feel like I have a platform, but they want hundreds of thousands of followers, and I don't have that.
Right.
But I do have connections, and I had a readership, and I just decided I'm going to bet on myself. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to completely self-publish this. I want a partner who cares about quality, and is this a well-written book? And so they really hold themselves to publishing industry standards.
Yeah.
And I think the tell was I did get one recognition. Publishers Weekly is a major literary magazine and industry circle, if you will, and they have a section for independent authors like me called Book Life, and they gave me a nice review, and it was an editor's pick. So when I got the editor's pick, I was like, thank you. Like, that was the validation that I needed, because I wanted it to be a good book.
Because somebody else liked it too, right?
That's
great.
Somebody liked it.
Hey, somebody else liked it too.
So it's the same. You recently dropped the audio version.
Yeah.
So is it kind of the same process? I mean, you've already had the book. You've already been promoting it. So what's the difference, other than the format?
So my publisher, they don't do audiobooks, but
so you did this on your own too.
Yes, but they recommended
Shocking.
somebody who had worked with some of their authors. So, and this person is Ian in Studio Americana in Minneapolis. And I know there are people local, but I knew that he had worked with some of our authors and all of that. And I was able to do it remotely. And I ended up recording it in my closet, my bedroom closet.
Sure.
And it was so rewarding to read the book out loud. I thought I was going to cringe. I mean, at first it took me a minute to get used to reading it. Like, that's weird. I mean, I don't know. There's something about reading a book. And you're
That
like,
you wrote. I can see that.
yeah, it's like, what is the cadence? It's just weird.
We get to make it up.
But I just got really comfortable, and reading it out loud, it just reinforced that I really stand by it. I'm very proud of it. And there were some moments where I had to stop because the emotion caught me off guard. And but there were also parts that were funny. And so I think I did this. I don't actually know, to be honest, how many people in my current audience listen to audiobooks. Like, do you listen to audiobooks?
I do.
You do?
Audible is my thing. I love
do
Audible.
too.
And so I just decided that my goal was to make my book as accessible as possible.
Yep.
And so even deciding, did I want it to be exclusive on Amazon? So Audible, my profit margin would have been much higher. But I was like, but I want it to be in the library, and I want people to get it. I want people to get it anywhere. So I went with there are probably other platforms. It's called Findaway Voices, and it's just a widespread distributor. And it's on, like, in Charleston County. You can go on the Libby app. You can go on Hoopla and get my book and listen to my book at the library. And that's my goal at this point. I mean, the profit margin on a book is what I'm saying is not great.
Yeah.
But it's another marketing tool, and it just is an entry point to, like, my messages that I want to share and the work I'm doing. And, a physical product it's always good to have too.
So I'm curious to know, how long did it take you to narrate your audio version?
That didn't take as long as I thought. Maybe 12 total hours.
Oh.
And because I was doing it remotely, he said, Ian, the producer, he said, most people really start to lose steam about an hour or an hour and a half in. So I would just book an hour session, and it never failed. I'd be like at the last minute, and my voice would start to crack, and I start to, like, cough. So I did a bunch of sessions, but it didn't take that long at all.
Cool.
Yeah, it was very fun.
I didn't know that.
Highly recommend.
Hard question. How are you making money? I see you're doing all the right things.
Yes.
But I'm not seeing any ads. I'm not seeing any sponsors.
Right. Okay. So honest, not a lot of money coming from the book, although I've sold a decent amount.
Yeah.
I make money from doing freelance television commercials.
Okay.
If I get booked for a speaking engagement, they pay me as a speaker.
There you go.
And that kind of thing. And I hope, the book is a long game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use my podcast to point people back to the book. But I think as that audience grows, obviously there's other ways you can make money. But I'm still doing other work.
Speaking engagements and that type of thing. That's very cool.
And the last time I saw you, you were emceeing the Mom's Run.
I know.
For Postpartum Support Charleston.
Yes.
Okay, so you're into that.
Yes.
You're into emceeing things.
Yes.
Okay, how else can the Charleston American Marketing Association help you?
You could, let's see, speaking engagements.
Sure.
I need to get in rooms that pay speakers and rooms that I can sell my book to larger audiences at one time.
There we go.
You know, but, and also I love storytelling in all forms. Again, like still doing commercials and being a spokesperson for brands. It all fits into my overall brand. This message that stems from the book, that's just more of like, that's my passion. Like that's why I'm doing any of this. But as a storyteller, as a content creator, like a former news person, but also someone who's worked in marketing, I'm fascinated by all aspects of storytelling, especially if I care about the company or the message. I have to, like, even we talked about Erin being an auctioneer. Like, she's getting a sense of value and purpose beyond being on the stage. It's about the companies and the nonprofits that she's helping through this gift that she has. So I think there are so many pathways to make money and monetize, and you kind of have to cobble it together.
Right? No, it's all about getting those different revenue generate different revenue sources, right?
Yeah.
I don't have one to give you right now, but what I do have, and Erin's been a part of this too, is Camp Happy Days.
Yeah.
We're looking for a spokesperson for a certain campaign that we're starting.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to be in the mix, I can connect you.
Please do.
I love putting our guests on the spot.
I love that this has turned into like a networking.
Well, that's what it is. That's what we're all about here is networking, connecting people.
Jobs for Angie.
Jobs for Angie. Getting you out there. Yeah.
That's what I love about
Have you ever heard
Charleston.
of Camp Happy Days?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
In fact, Mike Campbell, I don't know if you know him. He was my boss when I was in college and I was doing like a summer job at the State Ports Authority. But he's very big into Camp Happy Days, and that's how I always knew about it because he volunteered every summer. He was just so involved in it. And
So I'm on the board. I'm the marketing chair.
Oh, great.
And we're starting the 1982 Society
I saw that
monthly
today.
giving campaign. It's alive.
That's when they were founded, 1982.
We were founded in 1982.
And last year, Camp Happy Days was the Charleston AMA nonprofit partner.
That's right. That's right. Near and dear to my heart. I won't go into the story why, but we're giving away, and this is a work in progress website, but we're giving away these patches. If you give 1982 a month, you get a patch. If you give 50 a month, you get a patch. 100 a month, you get a patch. And then the first 100 get a founding 100 members patch. How cute is that?
So the website looks great to me.
Yeah, well, it's a work in progress. We're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out to Camp Happy Days. And if you, like I said, if you're interested, I'll connect you with Michaela. We're looking for somebody like you that have a following, that care about things, that talk about things, to share. So we're trying to get like 100 within the year is over type of thing. So anyhow, I love putting Camp Happy Days in the spotlight and my guests on the spot.
I love it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, right? That's how I got Emily to come. Emily Zahowski came.
Yeah, she's married now. I don't know if she does.
Camp Happy Days. She did a thing
Oh, she
at
did Camp Happy Days too. She was the MC for our Spark Awards.
Yeah. Look out for that. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
I know. I'm open for work. I'm doing a lot, but I just keep all the wheels in motion.
That's exactly
and I do think a lot of it is about staying visible, but not trying to like stay relevant. To me, that might just be semantics, but I think keeping yourself visible leads to opportunities.
Correct.
Agreed.
And you don't always know what is going to click. That's why I think it's important to like know why you're doing what you're doing and why you're working so hard, and just kind of center yourself every now and then and go, why does this all matter to me? And sometimes you gotta have a side hustle too.
Oh yeah, always. Oh, definitely. Like I said.
Mike, remember what Christine Osborne said, the founder of WonderWorks?
Oh yes. No, Christine,
She says,
great.
"Say yes to everything,
Yeah.
because you never know what will come from it."
Yes.
No, I don't always say yes to everything, but I like the thought process behind it.
Right.
Yes. Yes. I've gone through seasons of I'm saying yes too much and I need to say no. But I tend to agree with that. My husband always says, well, you know what will happen if you don't do it. Like, nothing is going to come from that.
Nothing.
I still feel like you have to, like, discern. There's some place inside of you, if you know, is this not going to be a good use of my time?
Right.
But in general, there's an openness to the path, I think. That, yeah.
Love it. Absolutely. We've actually booked speaking engagements from our show. You might not know this, but our friend Brenda Lawrence got a speaking engagement from our show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She's a badass,
You
too.
never know.
So you never know, because that's what you do. You put yourself out there, right? And that's what we need to do, listeners. Keep putting ourselves out there, and opportunities will come. What else can we share? And then kind of like putting a bow tie on this fun episode.
Well, I want to know from Angie's perspective, with just in general, what is your perfect day? Because I know you talk about that in your book.
Okay. So I like any, wow, there's so many aspects of a perfect day. I just got back from traveling for 2 weeks, and yesterday I just was able to be home all day and do laundry and be in my house and not have to go anywhere, and that was a perfect day. So I think it's more of the essence of what makes a day perfect. So if I feel like I have space to kind of breathe and show up as my real self there.
Content. I think because you wrote about that, being content.
Yes.
I think that's the go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, but I agree. It's like there's so many different things that can make a day feel perfect. Like doing this right now, like today's a perfect day. Sometimes a really hard day can be really rewarding. I think a perfect day is any day that I feel connected to myself. Like I haven't gotten lost in whatever the day brought. And I think that's what happened in television, is that it was getting so intense towards the end that I lost myself. And that was a turning point in my book where a mentor asked me, just, what is your perfect day? And that's when I realized that I had gotten lost in this hustle. Yeah. So that message has really come up a lot lately, and I keep learning new things about what that actually means, because I don't think it means only working a couple of hours a day or sitting in coffee shops all the time. That's fun, but that's not necessarily what makes a day feel perfect. It's just whatever you feel connected to your life and your work, and and being present. So
who are you sharing your time with?
Yes.
And all that.
and I think about it, and actually, you're making me think.
Another book.
But actually, just I think that's the heart of like the stories I share. It's any of those life moments that sort of bring me in to my life. So there's so many ways a day can feel perfect.
Not just one way.
Not one way.
That was deep.
I know. But y'all listen to me. But that is like, because I'm a writer, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could edit my out loud voice. Like I like to like write it, but then I can go back and like, let me tighten that up.
So true.
Like,
true.
blah,
I was
blah,
going to say,
blah.
try hosting a podcast, but you do host a podcast.
I do.
Yeah.
What's that podcast again called?
More Like You.
More Like You.
Yep. And
Is it available everywhere?
Yes, it is. Anywhere you get your podcasts.
How can people get in touch with you, follow you, find you, hire you?
I am Angie Mizell, Mizzell, across all platforms. So I will come up if you search my name, and my Substack. Even my website is angiemizell.com. I'm Angie Mizell on Instagram. So easy to find.
And you have links to your book on all those things too,
Yes.
right? Yep.
Links to your book. We have 2 books right here. Can we give one away?
Yes.
Will you sign one too?
Yes.
Because you already read her book.
I've read her book, yes.
If we can give 2 away though.
Yep.
Yes. We
Emily,
can give them both away.
You can't win. Just kidding. What do we do though? Do we have to make a comment somewhere? How do we?
Maybe we ask people to comment what their perfect day is. I don't know, something like that.
What does your perfect day look like, Charleston? That's what you need to comment wherever you find us. just make a comment. We'll find you. Right? We do track the comments, don't we?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, Instagram,
Just kidding.
Facebook,
Of course we
LinkedIn.
do.
Yeah.
When you post about this episode, is that what you promote the episode?
Yeah.
You could say, answer in the comments, what's
Yep.
your perfect day?
We will.
This
And
is
To
what-
win a copy
we'll,
of my book.
Yeah.
have a picture
Girl
of the
in
book
the
there, too.
Spotlight.
Love it.
Girl in the Spotlight.
Thank you.
A memoir by Angie Mizell.
I am Angie Mizell. You said that just now, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of like that, though. I am Mike Compton. All right, folks, we got to wrap this up. Matt's falling asleep over there. Thank you to the SCRA, the South Carolina Research Authority, for
Yes.
sponsoring. Thanks to Emily for showing up today. She's our intern for the summer. Matt, thank you for the tens and twos, or twos and ones. How do you say it? Ones and twos? You don't even know that. You're so young.
Thanks,
Anyways,
Matt.
I mean, Angie, it was a pleasure
This was
getting
so
to
fun.
know you. Thank you for your time.
Deep Talks with Angie Mizell.
There you go. I love how you get the deep voice, too.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
Well, thanks to Amanda for inviting you. Actually.
Yes. It's always good to see you.
All right, Charlestonians. I don't like listeners anymore. I don't like saying listeners. You know,
We do have
listeners.
listeners outside of Charleston.
We do. You're right. So I can't say Charlestonians or Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasantonians. I don't know. Mount Pleasantonians.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Friends. All right, friends. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.